You ever try to forget a place so hard that it starts showing up in your dreams anyway? That's how the forest began for me. I thought leaving would mean it'd leave me too, but it doesn't. Not really. It's been 3 years since that weekend. 3 years since I walked out alone. I keep a recorder by my bed now. Every night I press record and I talk, like I'm explaining it to someone who might believe me. Maybe that's you, maybe not. It started like any other trip, 6 of us from college who thought we needed one more adventure before real life pinned us down. There was Evan, the planner, Jake, loud and restless, Maya, who never feared anything, Lena, quiet but curious, Chris, my best friend since childhood, and me. We'd heard about a hiking trail no one used anymore, miles of untouched forest, no cell service, no noise except the wind. Sounded perfect, only it wasn't on any recent maps. Evan found it mentioned in some old online forum coordinates. A grainy photo, warnings that read like campfire stories. We laughed them off. That was our first mistake. The drive out there took hours. The road kept narrowing until the trees grew so thick their branches arched over us, turning noon into twilight. When we finally parked, the forest felt wrong. Not evil, just quiet in a way that pressed on your ears. No insects, no birds. Maya said it was just the season, but the air smelled strange like metal after lightning. We hiked for maybe a mile before Jake found it, a clearing that shouldn't have been there. Perfect circle, trees cut evenly around it, yet no stumps, no saw marks, just smooth earth. And in the middle, a house. Old wood, blackened like it had burned once and then somehow rebuilt itself. Windows intact, but too dark to see through. No path leading to it, no sign anyone had lived there. Evan laughed first. Probably an old ranger's cabin, he said. I told them we should mark the trail and head back before dark. Jake called me paranoid. Maya already had the front door half open. Inside smelled of dust and cold. Every footstep echoed like we were walking through a hollow shell. The furniture looked staged, chairs in place, a kettle on the stove, a single picture frame on the mantel with no photo inside. Lena whispered, "Do you hear that?" We listened. Nothing. Then something soft, almost a hum, rising through the floorboards. Chris knelt, pressing his ear to the wood. It's like machinery, but there was no basement door, no vent, no source. Evan wanted to explore upstairs. The staircase groaned under our weight. Dust hung in the air like cobwebs of smoke. I remember the wallpaper faded green with twisting vines. It looked damp, but when I touched it, my fingers came back dry. Second floor had 4 rooms. One door at the end was shut. The handle was cold enough to sting. Maya tried to force it open. Wouldn't budge. Locked, she said. Then from behind it came a sound, like someone breathing. We froze. Jake whispered a joke, something about squatters, but his voice cracked halfway through. The breathing stopped. We went back downstairs. I told them we needed to leave. The sun was already slipping behind the trees. That's when we noticed the windows. From the inside, they showed nothing. No forest, no light, just a reflection of the room, darker. Evan tried to open one, wouldn't move, not even a rattle. He pressed his hand to the glass, then flinched. It's warm. We argued. Maya said stay the night, make it a story. I said no. Jake sided with her. Chris looked torn. Lena stared out the front door, whispering that she couldn't see our footprints anymore. We went outside to check. She was right. The ground where we'd walked in was smooth again like the forest had erased us. That's when panic set in. We started shouting, calling out, breaking branches just to leave a mark, but every few minutes the sounds seemed to swallow themselves like the air thickened and pulled them down. Evan tried to restart the GPS. Dead. Phones, too. Even our watches had stopped frozen at 6:13 p.m. We turned toward the car. Only there was no road, no trail, just trees, endless trees. Chris grabbed my arm. We go back to the house, regroup, maybe climb to the roof, see the horizon. I didn't argue. I wish I had. The house looked different when we returned, slightly closer, somehow. The wood darker, windows deeper, and the door wide open, as if it had been waiting. Evan stepped in first, muttering about finding a signal upstairs. Maya followed, Jake and Lena right behind. Chris hesitated, then sighed. You coming? I shook my head. Something in me screamed not to. My chest felt tight, like the air inside the house wasn't meant for lungs. So I stayed outside. They went in. The door swung shut behind them. For a minute I stood there, expecting laughter. A prank. Then I heard it, the same low hum, rising again. Only this time it came from everywhere, the ground, the trees, even the sky. I called their names. No answer. Ran to the door. It wouldn't open. Not locked, just solid, like it was part of the wall now. I pounded until my hands went numb. Then I looked around and the clearing wasn't a clearing anymore. The trees had moved closer, branches curling inward, leaves whispering without wind. Every direction looked the same. And when I turned back to the house, it was gone. Gone. No dust, no footprint, no hole in the earth. Just grass. I ran. Don't remember how long. Maybe hours, maybe seconds. Eventually the forest thinned, light returned, and there was the road. Only my car sat alone. I drove until morning, didn't stop till I saw people again. But when I turned back, the forest line was different. Smaller, like a piece of it had been cut away overnight. You think I'm lying? Everyone does. Police found nothing. No house, no friends, not even tire tracks. Just empty land where a forest used to be. They said maybe I got lost. Shock can scramble memory, but they can't explain the recordings. That's where I'll start again, because this isn't the end. Not yet. Every night since then, I hear them. Through the recorder, through the walls. 5 voices, faint, overlapping, asking me to come back. And the worst part? Some nights, I almost say yes. You know what nobody tells you? Surviving doesn't mean you made it out. It just means the story didn't finish with you yet. After they declared it a missing persons case, I tried to go back to my life. I really did. But there's a sound that follows you after something like that. A low pulse in the air, not a hum, not a heartbeat, just pressure. Like the world's holding its breath. I started waking up at 6:13 every morning. Same time our watches stopped, always with mud under my fingernails, no memory of what I'd been dreaming. One night, I played back my bedside recordings. The tape hissed, static then, underneath, a whisper. You shouldn't have stayed outside. I dropped the recorder, left it running. When I picked it up again, the tape had reversed itself. My own voice came out, soft, shaking, saying things I never remembered saying. Descriptions of rooms that don't exist. A staircase that went down instead of up. And that locked door, the one with the breathing behind it, I kept talking about how it was open now. I told myself it was trauma. That's what the doctor said anyway. Sometimes the mind creates symbols, he told me. It's how you process loss. He suggested a drive, somewhere quiet. So I drove. 3 hours north. Didn't mean to head that way. My hands just turned the wheel. The GPS blinked out halfway there. And the air, that same metallic taste, returned. I knew before I saw it. The forest was back. Not all of it smaller. Maybe a mile wide, but real. Trees standing like they'd never left. Only the bark looked wrong. Smoother, almost black. And at the edge, a clearing. Not the same shape as before, but close. I told myself I'd just look. One glance, one memory to prove it existed. But the ground was warm. I knelt down and felt it hum faint, rhythmic, like breathing under the soil. Then the smell hit me. Smoke, and something sweet, like burnt sap. I took out my phone to record. Battery drained instantly. Screen flashed 6:13. When I looked up, pause, there it was again. The house. Not old this time, new. Like someone had built it yesterday using pieces that didn't belong to each other. Windows too even, door slightly tilted, and the same picture frame on the porch, railing empty. I don't remember walking toward it, just my hand touching the doorknob. It was cold this time, colder than before. Inside, everything was still, the air heavy, like underwater silence. And the rooms, the layout was the same, but the walls were wrong. Too narrow, corners bent inward slightly. I called out their names. No echo. Then a footstep upstairs. Slow. I froze. Another step, then another. 5 in total. Maya always had a heavy step. Jake dragged his feet. Chris walked light, on his toes. I could tell them apart, somehow. That's how clear it was. I backed up to the door. But when I turned, it wasn't there. Just wall. Wallpaper with that same vine pattern, except now the vines were moving. I ran, room to room. No windows, no stairs now, just doors leading into more of the same. Each one smaller, ceiling lower, air thinner. And then I heard it again, that hum rising, walls vibrating. My knees buckled. The floor went soft, like breathing flesh. I screamed until my throat tore. And through the noise, I heard a voice mine whispering right in my ear. You shouldn't have stayed outside. The floor gave way. I fell into dark. When I woke, it was morning. I was lying in an open field. No trees, no house, no sign anything had ever been there. But something had changed. My hands were covered in dust that smelled like burnt wood. And in my pocket, my recorder. I don't remember taking it with me. Didn't even think it was still working. But when I pressed play, there were voices, 5 of them, laughing, then arguing, then whispering my name, then silence, and then the sound of a 6th voice, deeper, calm, saying, "Now you're home." I don't tell people this part because it sounds insane, but every night since then, the house moves closer. Not physically, it's not like I see it from the window, but I feel it, like it's being rebuilt inside my head, room by room, memory by memory. Sometimes when I wake, the air smells like dust again. Sometimes the floor creaks under footsteps that aren't mine. I've tried staying elsewhere. Different towns, different states. Doesn't matter. The forest comes back. Smaller each time, but closer. And every time, at 6:13, the same thing happens. I hear 5 footsteps above me. Always 5. The doctor says I'm hallucinating. Maybe I am. But last night, I left my recorder running again. When I played it back this morning, I heard myself talking. Only it wasn't last night's voice, it was from before the trip. It said, "Don't go in the house." So here's my plan. Tonight, I'm going back, one last time. If the house is there, I'll walk in. If it's not, maybe the forest finally forgets me. I'm not recording this for proof anymore. I'm recording it because I need someone to know that a place can be hungry, that it can learn your name, that it doesn't care if you believe in it, only that you remember it. If anyone finds this tape, if you ever drive that way and see a road that narrows into trees, don't stop. Don't look for coordinates. Don't listen when you hear your friends calling your name, because the house isn't gone. It's waiting, and the next time it opens its door, it won't let anyone stay outside.